Hello. It's time for a tournament. First stream back since the big one. So I will be going over the replays today. Going over my thoughts on all of that. Turn that into a video will be a good time. And indeed, I will be playing Skaven today. You want to see a Hell Pit Abomination? Done. It's on the thumbnail. We're only playing C-tier factions. Relatively try hard, but yeah, it's gonna be Skaven, Lizardmen. You know, we might play some Tomb Kings and maybe some Tzeentch. Though Tzeentch has some tricksy builds. Demons of Chaos, the Dark Elves, the Dowie. All that kind of stuff I'm very excited for. Tournament starts soon, so make sure you check in. Double Hell Pit Abomination? There was only one in the thumbnail. Therefore, there shall only be one. But yeah, people are getting last minute check-ins in. Let's just refresh the page. I'll message the players. And then we should be good. Alright, most people are checked in though. Alright, and the tournament will begin in like a minute. It's a single elim, so if we lose one, we're out. I really want to see if we can win with these Garbo factions. Saw the Greases replay yesterday. Dude, I got greased. I can't believe I got greased. Have you spent your prize money yet? Not yet. Car shopping is butts, man. Oh my god. You gotta go to the dealership. Gotta negotiate prices. I had to walk away because they weren't giving me anything good. But yeah, that's where my prize money is going to. We're getting a car. I've been saving for a car for a while, so that'll be fun. Does C tier include Nurgle? Oh yes. That's true. Nurgle is not even C tier. The D tier category. Nah, I think Demons of Chaos are D tier. Nurgle can be C tier. You're such a cool tourney. Thank you. Alrighty. Tournament's beginning. Generating the bracket. Goblins. Tourney has begun. Trying a new format today, by the way. Oh, we're up against Kartoffel. Yeah, we're trying out a new format where it's 3x3 matrix, but if you do not like that, you can just pick your faction in SFT declaration, and then you're just locked in with that faction. And then it's just the classic, you know, pick 3, ban, or like your opponent picks 3, you ban 2, and then it's all good. It's very nice. Oh, they declared corn. Ooh, all right. I see. So no pick and ban. They're just playing corn. All right. Very nice. Let's see here. I'll go. So I get to pick 3 factions. Now we saw Skaven win. We saw them win the one of the grand finals anyways. Let's see here. We're on proving grounds. All right. So what factions? I'll go Dark Elves. That should be a fun one. Demons of Chaos. And do I go Dowie? Do we go Dowie? How's the CA tournament? Dude, it went so well. Dark Elves, Demons of Chaos, and what else is good versus Corn? Ooh, I could try some Lizardmen action. Lizardmen is a weird one, but I think they actually have pretty good teeth against Corn. Or do I go Skaven? Dare I? I'm pretty sure they're a bad idea versus Corn. especially on this map. I'm gonna go Dark Elves even to Chaos Lizardmen. Let's get more than one game in today. How are the Tomb Kings performing? They don't seem that good. Charix plays them against me, but they never really seem to do that well. They're just a very slow faction. And cavalry wreck their infantry super hard. He's playing Lizardman Corn. Let's go. All right. Alrighty, but yeah, we will be covering the sick replays later. I'm very excited. I can give my thoughts on my decision making. Yo, I thought I was gonna beat Beastmen into Ogre Kingdoms, but it turns out Grease's Mass Noblar beats the usual Beastmen rush. It's so good versus Leadbelchers and the usual Ogre Bull spam, but the Trapper spam, oh my goodness. Wreckaroni, man, I got super destroyed by Greases. But alright, it's Corn. Corn ain't got nothing on this. They ain't got nothing. This build right here, unkillable. I tell you guys right now. There's nothing that they can do. Do I have to worry about Furies? Maybe. I love the Pterodon Rider spam, but Furies make that so much harder. I guess this Chameleon Skinks. It's just Roiling Skies. Roiling Skies is so good. Roiling Skies, the Lore of Heavens passive, actually won me the last game. Because it's a minus 25 speed, minus 24 melee debuff. Yeah, minus 24 melee defense for 25 seconds. That is like equivalent to a 4 or 5 Winds of Magic spell every time you cast a spell. Only for flying units, but it's real good. Turns commentary on the Greases match was great. Ooh. Maybe I'll watch that one again. That was Yo, Grease is doing nothing for 5 minutes and then almost killing my lord. What a game that was. Terrifying. Alright, but yeah, I got the build. Ain't no way this loses it for me. Lizardmen are super strong, man. The Lizardmen are insane. Losing to Corn, impossible. What else do I want? It's probably gonna have Valkia, right? I need something that can kill Flesh Houndos. Flesh Hounds and your general coronate mobility. I don't know if Carnosaurs are good. I kind of miss seeing Carnosaurs. I feel like they might not be perfect for this particular situation, though. Yo, Spear Riders got buffed, right? Didn't they get more melee defense or something? Yeah, that's something. They don't got something. All Globadiers. Well, we're playing Lizardmen. I didn't want to take Skaven versus Corn, not in round 1. Just because it feels a little bad. It feels just a smidge not great. I just don't want to lose. I want to lose so early. Okay, this should be good though. Oh, basically perfect spend. Let's go. Thumbnail promise. Strong, mighty Skaven. Next one. All right, I just need to find a good enough matchup for them, and we're good. Horned ones got the buff. So you're telling me I should run horned ones then? They got a melee defense buff, right? Yeah. All right, horned ones it shall be. All right, now I'm ready. Let's do it. Danikin picks greenskins no matter the odds. Charx picks Skaven no matter the odds. Turin picks Nurgle no matter the odds. What's your silly pick? I'm a sweat lord, man. I'm a meta slave. Bro, I just played Norska Chaos the whole tournament and spammed Bearmen, alright? Literally, I got hard carried by Bearman for the whole tournament. Bearman and Dreadmaws. I'm not a silly goose. Oh boy, I don't know. The Cathay Moonbird spam was pretty fun. I didn't bring it for the tournament though. Yeah, I don't know, man. I got a lot of silliness. Hey, meta slaving though is nice. And I am a fairly proficient chaos player, so that definitely helped me out. Alright, so Navigator signed up, but he might have signed up while I was editing stuff, so. Alright, so this is what we're gonna do. Okay. So, message. Nacho Fur and Blake 85. You will face the winner of that match. If you win, I'll be able to add you in pretty easy. All right, let's do it. Oh, he's ready. Let's do it. Classic Master Mundi build. Oh my gosh, you're borrowing me. Thank you so much. The #1 player. We're back. We're back in action.
Player in the world. The man who sweats. Gives his lord to other players. Enticity. Rip Vampire Coast.
Oof, yeah, Rip Vampire Coast indeed. I think I did take Vampire Coast as a counter pick in one of my matches, but just the one. Yeah, the Lord throws though. Lord throws are life. I think I might have lost the most Lords in the entire tournament. Although we did okay. I definitely am not a I'm not a Master Lord micro. That's a lot of Forsaken. Definitely want to move over there and possibly bully them. Want to make sure we are at least safe here. Got to be a little careful about the Furies too. Kartoffel is a little scary. Gives them the false sense of security, the pro strat. All right, nice. A little bit of lag. I think we'll be okay. I don't know what's up with the servers recently, but I feel like there's been a lot more lag between players lately. I don't know. Either that or it's me. But I think Turn has also suffered some lag issues, right? I'm pretty sure it's not just me. You know what? Let's get another one of these. I took a Stegodon, by the way. When was the last time you guys saw a Stegodon? Warhammer 2. Ancient Stegodon. In the other way. Oh, we got. So we got some Forsaken over here. Mazda Mundi beat him up. Get him. The reason we're sitting on 1 point, by the way, is because we're here just to trade. If I spread myself too thin, that can lead to many an issue. Look at them Furies doing the bestest. It's gonna be kind of sus though. We get some Minotaurs coming on in. All right, Furies have decided to make the big play, the big debut. If I keep retreating, I think they just get bullied. Warhounds are super bad for this too. And the Furies are forced to disengage. Flying units are really bad at chasing. So that kind of just messed them up super bad. That kind of just messed them up. You want to catch me? I don't think so. Get netted, son. All right, so that's just going to kill the dogs. And you can see I'm sitting on 1 point. And we're trading like crazy. What's not to love? Bought some meats for your soups yet? Oh yeah, so much meat. We're rich. We're rich. I'm a millionaire. Dang, those poor doggos. They're getting wrecked. Skull Taker's getting wrecked, and I still have 50 years. I still have 50 years to sit back and relax. A little bit of a Forsaken flank here. A little bit of a Knights of the Brazen Throne flank. Whoa. Did not catch that one. Well, let's see if we can avoid that real quick. Do we take the horn ones for the Knights of the Brazen Throne? Or will Spear Riders do just as well? And they might do just as well. But yeah, I'm just gonna keep sitting on 1 point for now. We might be able to bully these horsemen if I net them down. Let's see if we can do that. They split up a bit, but a ruination of cities right on their face will still be quite painful. I don't think they really want that too much. Hopefully we get a bit of a rout there too. I'm still up trading, so I'm not looking to speed up trades at all or anything. Knights of the Brazen Throne are a little far too. Mazdamundi getting a little bit of a rout on these boys. Very nice. Okay, yeah, not bad. Shredder of Lustria, by the way, has a leadership debuff. Super good versus Furies. Super good versus Furies because they really rely on their leadership. Now, Mazdamundi's getting bullied by the Skull Taker, though. We will have to pull away from that. We will have to bring some spears and such. As you can see, Mazdamundi is gonna die. Yeah, he's absolutely dead. Mazdamundi's super dead. If he lives through this, I would be so surprised. Oh, and then again, maybe we can net him down. Hey, there you go, get the
like
net.
Greasus, haters watching Fast and the Furious.
Yo, Greasus. Oh, yeah, he lives. He lives. Let's go. All right. It's just my skinks are in a terrible position right now. But other than that, Mazdamundi does live. We're going to need to sack the horned ones. But hey, I guess that melee defense boost will hopefully keep them at it. We're going to just get a skink here to threaten a point. Because my opponent's committing a lot of his forces. I don't think they can afford to deal with a little bit of a skink side flank. And my skirmishers are just doing great. Mazdamundi's alive. What's not to love, right? Shredder of Lustria can maybe get in here. I will say, though, it is a little sketchy. Yeah, world champ once again. I might lose this tournament, though, I'm not gonna lie. It's a little sus. How's the Shredder doing? Remember, there's still Minotaurs here and such. Mazdamundi's gonna need to back up. We got a Skull Taker over here. He's definitely gonna need to be netted down. Okay, let's go over here. We're gonna net down the Skull Taker. We're gonna bring in the Shredder. Shredder should be able to kill some Minotaurs, but that's a lot of horsemen I gotta worry about. Value trading's actually not in my favor anymore, which is real bad. But I should at least be able to capture the points, which buys me time. The game also doesn't track skirmisher value super well, so there is that to consider. Skull Taker shall die. Skull Taker is absolutely gonna die here. We can heal up the Shredder. Very nice. Okay, not too bad. He's getting a lot of axe throwers on its face, but ruination of cities will hurt. And I do have myself a double capping coming. Though the Shredder does actually die. Well, that's unfortunate. That was supposed to be my centerpiece, bro. That's not good. Shredder's dead. Shredder's super dead. Does he have anything here that can actually stop me, though? I do have, like... I have a mini Shredder. I have a Stegodon. Sure, why not? We'll use the Stegodon. It's okay. Scarbrand hates kite builds. Absolutely. All right, what are you gonna do? Knights of the Brazen Throne charge me? I got my unkillable skinkies here. There you go. So they are now undying. How'd they lose so many models? They're literally unkillable. All right, so be it. At least we have the double cap. Summon some Corn Gores here. Not a big deal. And they're gonna trade decently versus the Knights of the Brazen Throne. That's all I really want. That's all we really need. Any half-decent trades will do. They are now killable, though, but they've done a whack load of damage to those knights. Definitely not pretty for them at all. And we still have a bunch of skinks over here to Simply value farm. Now these Forsaken, we're just gonna see if we can kite them away. Ticket wise, it's a little sketchy, but I think we're still in a pretty good position. Especially with all these skinks coming in, they'll be able to just capture the point. Master Mundi can defend against the doggos, that's not a big deal. Nice, dude, those skinks are cooking. Skinks are cooking super hard. Very nice. Alright, you there. Pull back. Get the D summon. Alright. Then we can drop a bubble. It's just a couple normal dogs, so not a big issue. And with my cavalry nearby, I think we are totally in the clear. Especially now that I'm able to summon more units. This point will take a while to be secured. I think we are in an okay situation. Yeah, those dogs are not doing super well. That's a big old fat route. It's just a Skull Taker I gotta worry about right now. And securing these points, which a little bit of cavalry will go a long way. He's not getting any tickets. So I have time. Skull Taker can't be that bad. Skull Taker. Yeah, I just need my cav summons. Let's get those skinks in there. Couple Chaos Warhounds. Not a big deal. Where's my cav at? Yeah, they're doing great. We'll kill Skull Taker. We'll get our unkillable skinks in here. Now they are re-securing the double cap. Time is absolutely of the essence. But I think we're not doing too bad. Oh, they all died. I don't know how the ones here died though. I don't know what happened there, but apparently they also died. Fine by me. We still have time. Stuck it on, chilling. There are more Minotaurs to be wary of. But it looks like my horned ones are doing quite well. Never mind, they just took a massive hit from I don't know where. Jeez, these horned ones kind of suck, don't they? They kind of garbage. I'm not gonna lie. Oh boy. All right, let's do some of these guys. Master Mundi's gonna bubble them. Come on, hold, you darn horned ones. God dang, man. All right, dude, they suck. Oh, they absolutely suck. Oh, Master Mundi's gonna die. No. No, come on, man. Oh, crap. How is he? He's gonna kill Master Mundi now. Bro, everything's gone. We had Cav. Oh, my goodness. That's real bad. Dude, Skull Taker's dominating right now. All right, what are we looking at? I do still have my horned ones here. We'll be able to probably secure this. I can use my skinks to capture this one. At least we still have a decent amount of time on our hands. But Master Mundi's absolutely off the battlefield. The Stegodon also sucked. Oh boy, this is actually super bad right now. Now I should be able to secure this. I don't like the doggos though. Dang, if I didn't lose my Dreadsaurian, this would be way less sketchy. Well, let's at least get my cav in here. Horned ones will at least do all right. He'll capture this point. I'll hopefully re-secure 2 of them. And then mayhaps we will have a chance. A couple doggos are not a big issue. They're taking a lot of damage from those horned ones. Okay, all right. If I can bring it down to just a 1 cap, it's doable. It's survivable. Skull Taker's kind of low too. We did get our Lord slain, but that's okay. What do I want though? I think Cohort of Sotek can probably do well here. Mazda lives, Mazda's super dead. It's a double cap situation too. That's double not pretty. I can at least probably kill off these Minotaurs though. The problem, I'm not going to be able to hold any of these points anytime soon, and we're going to get to the point where a single capture is enough for my opponent to win. Though, mayhaps if we kill the Skull Taker here with this horned one charge. They are horned ones. They got buffed. Come on, baby. Come on, horned ones. Cook. Cook like you've never cooked before. Why do you suck so much? It's 1 Lord. It's just the Skull Taker. He has 25 melee defense. Oh. Bro. Oh, the humanity. Oh, jeez. Dude, they couldn't damage him. What the crap? All right, horn ones suck. Horn ones are the hottest garbage I have ever seen in my entire life. Dude, they did nothing. I summoned them like 5 times. Ah, that's GG then. Well, I guess I need to practice more suture factions. Yeah, that +5 melee defense really helping them out. Absolutely. Oh my gosh. All right, GG, well played. GG, well played. Well, I guess I'm not casting many games today. Dude, I got so wrecked. I got so wrecked. All right, I'll cast your matches. Your match versus Adam. TM. Oh my gosh, bro. Okay, obviously losing the Shredder of Lustre at the beginning was a big misplay. The skirmishers were good. But bro, Skull Taker did not die to the full calves around. Yeah, Skaven would have been the better choice for sure. Oh my gosh. Yeah, Skull Taker does eat cav, it's true. I feel like a lot of other cav would have at least killed him at a quarter HP, but I guess not. Wow, look at this one. They only got 600. Borowski. Oh, I should have stuck with Cold Wind Spear Riders for sure. These guys did pretty well. I think I only summoned them once or twice, and they paid for themselves. Skinks were also really good. Stegodon was okay. It's a single entity. Such is life. I should have played Skaven. We got potatoed. Yeesh. Hey, it's good practice though. You never know when the lizards are going to be mega buffed. Okay, I should change the title though. I should change the title. All right. Jeez. All right, so we'll save that. Casting. All right. Oh boy. Whatever. I get to take it easy today. Corned ones. Yeah, I think the spear riders seem pretty good. More lord throws, dude. I lost a shredder. This Skull Taker is brutal. Maybe I should do a Lizardman day. Maybe. Plenty of skulls. Oh yeah. Also, we'll get to see how fast this tournament format is. That'll be fun. It's all best of 1. There's 5 rounds. So technically, if people play quickly, this tournament could be ultra fast. But it's Wednesday today. I want to do a double tournament day, but it's probably better if I edit instead. Where's the little egg fella? The banana? He's right here. Jimmy's here. He's just being blocked by my camera right now. Did I move the camera? Yeah, I think it's like, I should be, yeah. If I'm scooted over this way a bit, then you can see him a bit better. He's there. Where's the Skaven game? There's no Skaven game, man. We got knocked out. We got knocked out. Honestly, pretty good corn game played by Cartophel. They did actually do it quite well. It looks like it's going to be Chaos versus Corn, all right. Can't wait for Nagash to come out. And if you want to take him to multiplayer, you can only afford Nagash. How expensive? If Bellicor can cost like 5,000, Nagash is going to be insane. We got sold a filthy lie. I'm sorry, I can't win as a Lizardman all the time. Dang, things are going so well too. It's just my I think the Cav getting caught out was a big old misplay. Skinks were doing great though. The skirmish is great. New world champ already. Is Bellacore 5,000? If you take all of his abilities, I think he breaches 4,000. I think he's 4,000 something. It might be 4,700, but I'm not sure. 7k Nagash would be funny. You give him like 7 bound abilities, and he's just spamming crazy like cataclysm spells everywhere. I bet Nagash is gonna be like Lord Croak though, you know? Super cool in campaign, super garbage in multiplayer. You got baited by the thumbnail. I was planning to play Skaven. I should have played Skaven. I should have started with Skaven and taken the Hell Pit versus Khorne. Yeah, I would buy an old school Nagash model. Do you think you could win a game or tournament if you kept the camera at the blood splatter distance? Matthew
Do you think
Smith.
you could win a game or a tournament if you kept the camera at the blood splatter distance?
I would say yes. It would involve a lot of camera movement though. I don't know if that would be comfortable. I don't know how comfortable that would be for a lot of people. But realistically, you can just, you know. Well, okay, Micro and Cav is a lot harder. What would be the best faction? It might be Dwarves. It might be Dwarves just to... Because you can't Micro Cav at that zoom level. Do some quick battle matches as Skaven. I'll do it tomorrow, it's fine. Maybe I can change the thumbnail so we don't debate people. Oh my goodness. Oh, what a rip-off. That's what I get for not being good enough at Lizardmen though. Let's see here. What's a good substitute? What's a good substitute thumbnail? What do we got? I think I have some generic ones here. All right. Beta branch tournament casting. There you go. Get rid of it. Get rid of it all. Here, I'll use this one. I'll use Mr. Pixel Guy. It's true though. Man, won the biggest tournament of maybe all of Warhammer history. Lose my first game back. Woof. You downloaded the beta just to lose the first round? Yeah. Single elim is intense. By the way, they fixed the pinned maps feature on this branch. They finally did it. Do you guys see this? They finally did it. The maps stay pinned. It only took us 50 years. Holy moly, though. It's actually done. I can actually start pinning maps for the first time in my life. Also, by the way, Doombolt is unbanned. They nerfed Doombolt. Let me see if I can find the patch. Doombolt. Yeah, it got nerfed 200 damage. I don't know if that's actually good enough to make Doombolt balanced enough, but we're testing it out. If it's a Doombolt fest, we gotta reban it, and we gotta go back to CA and be like, hey, the spell's still kind of OP. Change it to D tier factions, Nurgle only. Anyone think Demons of Chaos are D tier, or are they actually okay now with the pleasure seekers. And can die happy. Map pin feature done. It's actually it doesn't matter in the grand scheme of things. To many people, they literally cannot care less. But it's more a signifier that they are genuinely listening to me. It's just that it'll take 50 years to implement. But they are genuinely, you know, at least they're not ignoring me. It's like an abusive level of listening to me, you know? Just enough to keep me around. Let's see, what is this? Proving grounds, gotta add that map. I don't like how it keeps resetting to the top every time I click, but that's fine. One step at a time. The Blood Grove. But yeah, I can just pin these now. I think Demons of Chaos was okay before. I'll settle for okay. Although, like, are they really, like, what? Are they really better than D tier? Like, do they make a C tier? I feel like they just get kited 24/7. They were #1 ranked. That's true. They were absolutely the #1 faction. Rapturous Expanse. But yeah, I really want to see all the unnerfed stuff. They also buffed up the Horsemen, by the way. So the Marauder Horsemen Slanesh ROR, they gave them Devastating Flanker, and I'm pretty sure they didn't get a price increase. So they might be OP. Use them while you can, Slanesh and Norsk mains. Because Devastating Flanker on that skirmish cav is kind of bonkers. They got Devastating Flanker, they got bonus versus large, they got Strider plus 5% resist and an ability on top of gold chevrons. They're an insane unit right now. There's just kind of an upper limit that you can get with skirmish cav. Skirmish cav are not, you know, they're not gonna break the game, but they're definitely a must take now. I think you would be crazy not to. Oh yeah, they nerfed Steercar's ability, right? Does anyone know how they nerfed Steercar's ability? Nurgle's army abilities aren't spreading. Oh my goodness. The bugs. Or what we got? On the Blood Grove, we got a Horseman spam versus the Doggy spam. There's a Hell Cannon. I would say if the Horsemen are microed well, and then you just desummon them, resummon them, I think Khorne's just dead. I don't think the Hell Cannon will do it. But if the micro is good enough, maybe it can. I will say the map is really good for a Skull Cannon. You always expected the Khorne skirmish cav to be insane, but they're not all that. Well, it's because of axe throwers. So they got really big arcs of fire. Super expensive. What makes them better than normal axe throwers? They have anti-infantry, I guess. I guess the price kind of holds them back. But with the Slanesh ROR, they have that sick ability. Ever chicken time indeed. Yeah, that's right. Sartorial, the Everwatcher. We got Searing Doom. We got Plague of Rust. No elite armored cav for you. Soul of Damnation has a Soul Devourer ability. If a unit gets close, it shoots super fast. I didn't know it had that. Automatic ability. That's pretty cool. But that could potentially bully the Hellforge Bellows. I like the Chaos build quite a bit, but Cardofel is a Khorne main, so they do like to have their way with things. They do know how to deal with getting skirmished. Khorne is in a perpetual state of being kited. Yeah, corn horsemen. So people do still take the corn horsemen. They just don't. They're just probably not like amazing. So apparently the terrain -4, even though they're not in the forest. Okay, that'll probably go away once the battle starts. Some marauders for capture weight. It's gonna be a race to see if Adam TM can DPS these guys to death or not. You're gonna blame your loss on the soul cannon? What's wrong with it? Also hell cannon, not soul cannon. Congrats on winning the CA tournament. That vampire counts win totally surprised you. I think they were really making it out that my Lord loss was like a big deal. I was pretty sure I was gonna win the moment I saw double Chimera. Like, I looked at his army, I'm like, there's no way he kills all my infantry before the end of the game, and then he didn't. I think, yeah, a lot of people put a lot of... you know, value on their Lord and such, but like, Kemmler can cost 850. He's so cheap. Kemmler is so stupid cheap, man. It does not matter if he dies. Losing 2 corpse cards at the beginning was kind of rough. But like, you know, he would have to kill 3 Kemmlers to pay off the price of his two Chimeras. And he only killed 2, so I technically uptraded. As dumb as that sounds, but yeah. Just kind of chilled. CA tournament was posted on Turin's channel. I think he might have streamed it on Twitch. But if it's just on YouTube, you'll have to take a look at that. Nice. Skull cannon, friendly firing. Classic. Hey, at least it's better than line of sight issues. And what we got? We got some Hellstrider action. They're charging the dogs, the Furies. Furies are going down pretty hard. Now they are disabling the cannon, so that Soul Devourer ability isn't triggering. But this is generally a bad trade for Kartoffel, unless he somehow manages to kill all the crew. Now there are 8 crew left, so I don't know. There could be a massive misplay here. Adam TM should be charging these Furies. I don't know why he's not. If he goes down to, I think, less than 4 crew, oh my gosh, he can't reman the cannon. Wow, what a misplay. You're kidding me. He let 1 Fury kill his cannon? Oh my goodness. Oh, goodness gracious, that's bad. Oh, talk about value, Fury. Are you kidding me? You let a 650 gold Fury kill your 1,550 gold artillery piece. Jeez Louise, that's rough. That's real bad. That's a game loss condition, possibly. We're losing 2 horsemen to Skull Taker. Dang, Kartoffel is locked in with the Corn plays today. You know, honestly, if Corn is always just going for dogs, flesh hounds, and horsemen, maybe I do play Corn. I'd be down to play this against a kite build, you know? You get to spam a lot of mobility. Unconventional Corn is the new Corn. Yeah, not only did they kill the artillery, they also distracted half the army. No D-summon to get the value back on that Hell Cannon either. That's a lot of HP down the drain. It's just a full loss. That's so brutal. Logically, the loss of the Necromancer should be an army wipe for undead factions. Oh yeah, no, absolutely. The Lord loss penalty for undead should be higher. I think that would be a nice way to balance crumbling. So you have crumbling and then you have Lord loss crumbling, but you know, whatever, man. At this point, I couldn't be bothered to have CA balance in minutia. I just want line of sight. I want line of sight improved, and I want the spectator UI to show more data, like Winds of Magic and all that. We get that, I'm happy. This game's looking pretty lost for chaos, by the way. This ain't good. Oh, this is bad. Oh, this is real bad. He gets a Plague of Rust normal cast on the Night Lances. They're not taking hits though, so it's barely doing anything. The only recourse he has is that the Skull Cannon is doing nothing. Skull Cannon's basically doing nothing right now, but I think that really goes to show how much of a dominating victory this was, where he didn't even need the Skull Cannon to win. He actually managed to basically table the Warriors of Chaos. Insanity. Yeah, that's pretty rough. What we got? Got some throwing axes. Rallying. There's nothing left though, right? I'm pretty sure one spawn of Zinch is not going to solo this entire army. What they got? They got that armor sundering. So the Marauders got 5 armor. That's pretty high. Seriously, Valor Tracker is your #1 priority for bug fixing. So I've been super explicitly clear with CA recently. Every time I give them a multiplayer suggestion, I'm always like, by the way, this is pretty low priority. Can you? I would just love for you to focus on unit control and the spectator UI. Because balance, like fine-tuning spawn, right? We're gonna enjoy that for a bit, you know? If they make spawn perfectly balanced, they're gonna be played for a bit and then we're gonna get sick of them, right? It's not actually going to be super great. But if they improve stuff like unit control or this, we get to enjoy it forever. The returns on it are so much better if they actually can get that done. Why bring artillery anyways? Well, if you can defend the artillery and you're going for a kite build, you can kind of just army wipe corn. But similar to my game, if you make a bit of a misplay and you get caught, things get pretty rough. On the far side, we're seeing Hellstriders get chased off. Honestly, this is great. Watching Cardofel. This is like giving me a play-by-play on how to play corn. I should play them. I should absolutely play them. Junior Necromancers. All units of infantry have junior Necromancers. Honestly, in a world where dogs can somehow just be perfectly coordinated, I think it is, you know, it makes sense that there are just invisible managers of all the units in the game. Big death, by the way. There go the Marauder Horsemen throwing axes on the resummon. They still have not paid for themselves. Spawn gonna die, and yeah, Chaos is super army wiped. There ain't nothing left, man. It's over. It's over. Bracket's progressing nicely though. Honestly, single, you know, single elim. Not terrible in terms of just having a nice quick tournament. One of the dogs is a guy in a dog costume. Perfect. Yo, Sartorial chilling, by the way. Look at this poor guy. What's he done? He's pecked at the Hellforge Bellows. Honestly, the Searing Dooms haven't really done much versus the Chaos Knights either. That spell resist working out really well for them. Big charge by the Corn Gores. Man, so much cavalry getting caught up. There's another Plague of Rust. Overcast Searing Doom. But it's going to be dodged. He was looking at this direction. Oh, slightly missed dodges. Not a lot of damage overall, though. And then one more Forsaken. Sad thing about the Forsaken, they have no battlefield, you know, they don't control a lot of space. So you could just resummon to counter them. So they're dead. Cartofel crushing it. Let's just keep following their journey. Let me know when you get your next opponent. All right, nice. So what I could do then... Dang, that Hell Cannon got nothing. It got nothing. Skull Cannon eventually was starting to pay for itself. What else have we got? Some Blood Beasts. Got a Chaos Knight. Nothing too crazy. Nothing too crazy. This was just a lot of units getting caught, sadly. Now, they're going to let me know when they have their thingamabob set up. And I can start going over these replays, because we have a lot. But this was my first game of the tournament versus Chosen to start. Now, Chosen was a bit of a menace. Chosen's actually a super strong player. 600 value on the Chicken's Criminal? Yeah, absolutely. But yeah, this game was not cast. This was in the top 8. Chosen qualified for my... They qualified for my tournament. Via my tournament. Oh crap, are all the replays screwed up because it's because I have the beta branch? Crap. I'd have to swap out of the beta branch, otherwise I think the replays will desync. Crap, my bad. Never mind. Okay, I'll have to go over them after the fact then. Congrats on the win, thank you. Dang it. All right, well, I'll go over those in the video then. But yeah, these games were nasty. They were super close. Yeah, they brought Dakala. I brought Grand Cathay, all right. Karavthir. Do we got Karavthir in chat? Let me see. They haven't messaged, but if you're there. I brought Cathay, man. I brought Cathay. Just for you. It's actually super crazy how annoying it is for Cathay to how annoying it is to beat Cathay as Slanesh. Dude, that's such a menace faction. Such an absolute menace faction. Is Kartoffel still in here? Okay, they are. All right, let's just follow their journey. Why not? Yo, I feel like after the C8 tournament, I've done everything I wanted to do now in the Warhammer scene. I'm not gonna retire, but I feel like, you know, if I don't win another major event, would I be happy? I don't know. Maybe I have the bloodlust now. CA changed a bunch of ladder maps. I saw. Yeah, the what's it? Oh, what the crap? It unpinned my maps, bro. Why are my maps unpinned? What the crap? Oh, what a ripoff. Is it still broken? Did they not actually fix it properly? At the very least, it's still bugged. Is it because I went into an older replay? I bet that's the reason. Ooh, Carterfell versus Daniken next. Now that's exciting. I guess I'll report that bug. Seven 7.0.3. My maps unpinned after watching a replay from the previous patch. And the bug is reported. Oh my goodness, Creative Assembly, why? Why? I did tell them that the pin maps thing was more of a personal gripe more than something that's actually important. I don't think they should be wasting resources on it, honestly. There's so much more stuff. Like, I watched a Turin stream the other day where he brought double Luminarch. It was so much pain and suffering. Bro, those Luminarchs. Those Luminarchs. The little 360 spin before they shoot. Congrats on the cash money, though, from the tournament. Thank you. It's going into making it easier to buy a car. How do you feel about the map pin reset? How you feel about the map pin reset is how we all felt after you promised us a round 2 Skaven pick. Dang, I should have seen that coming. Yeah, all right, fair is fair. I'll get you guys some 6 Skaven games tomorrow then. We will get some Skaven practice. I want to play the not top tier factions. Like, I obviously know how to play Chaos and Norska. It's pretty straightforward. Micro your skirmish cav, right? And then spam Bearman and Dreadmaws. Like, you know, it's chill. Sometimes you go double Chimera if you want to spice it. Scratching tomorrow's stream out of your schedule. Big Skaven hater. What was it? Was it a what was the tournament tomorrow? Let me take a look. Let me take a look. The tomorrow's tournament is yeah, it's just a generic Swiss tournament. I might try this format again. It is kind of fun. Single Elim's a little rough though. I might do the same thing, same format, but Swiss. I think that might be a fun way to go about it. Let's see here. I'll message Storm for tomorrow. Can you do the same rule set, but Swiss? Thanks. All right, nice. Got him. Storm Vermin only build. Storm Vermin only builds have an 800 gold bonus from previous patches. That does not seem like a lot. I think if I took Storm Vermin only in the previous patch, but I got an extra 800 gold, I would not feel very comfortable. It's gonna be fun though. Khorne versus Dark Elves. I think I put my money on Danican. I would give Danican a 75% chance of winning this. Possibly more. But I've played Khorne versus Danican's you know, kite before. If he just takes a bunch of Scourge Runners and a Medusa to clear infantry, generally that DPS is a bit too much for Khorne to clear. It is pretty cool though, seeing these dog Khorne builds, I must say. Dog spam Khorne definitely has some solid teeth to it. Also, yo, CA streaming Medieval, weren't they streaming like Medieval 3 early pre-production or whatever? That's pretty fun. And then there's the 40k stuff coming out. Bro, this is so good. I think 40k should be some exciting times. Then again, well, okay, it can't be as bad as Warhammer 3 though. It's a new engine and everything, right? Surely they don't botch it. Warhammer 3 was such a bad launch, we lost half the content creators. Because they could no longer keep up with doing YouTube. Could they botch 40k that hard? Orc Dak Alliance will be beautiful, absolutely. Whatever. At least it's 2 chances for our good 40k game. We have Dawn of War 4 and Total War 40k. If one of them does well, we're smooth sailing. That's all I need. Oh boy, Danican picks a red banner. What a guy. All right, let's see this. Executioners, let's go, bro. Danican was talking about finding a matchup for Executioners. He was talking about one of those matchups. So a little bit of experimentation here. Now, Skull Cannon's going to be rough for them. Map's fairly flat too, so no dodging. This is a 2025 AAA game studio. They can botch things in ways no one thought mankind could. Yo, anyone see the Hollow Knight DLC get announced? Already? For free? Hollow Knight devs just flexing, man. They're just like, yeah, we're rich, whatevs. Just, you know, just releasing stuff for free. Putting out massive games on the cheap. Don't mind us. The only downside is it takes them 50 years to develop things, but man, was it worth the wait. Still need to beat it though. I've been so busy with a ton of random stuff. Yo, indie games are great. I'm still enjoying Factorio. The new DLC there is great. Doesn't capture the point. Wow, Daniken really got the bloodlust. Doesn't feel like the tickets are worth it. Just wants to poke and get more damage in. Beautiful shot from the Hellforge Bellows. Look at that. One of them lands here. Almost hit an Executioner at further than max range. Insane. Decent dodge. But it's already taken a bit of damage. This thing will likely die to the Dreadlord. Wow. Dang, that accuracy. Oh, that accuracy. Huge. Now, Scylla and Fingrim is coming on in to try and buffer. The reason they make sense is because they have a rampage effect. 65 speed, decently fast. Charge bonus, helping them catch up to the Scourge Runner somehow. What is that charge? What is that Scylla and Fingrim charge? You don't have the speed to catch these guys. Oh, and the whiff misses the rampage. Oh, dang. After that massive charge from downtown. Completely mega whiffs. Hellforge Bellow shoots the Lord. He don't care. He has 25% missile resist. What is this game? This game's crazy. Crazy matches so far. Silent took massive damage. And they are sad. In the corner of shame. They stare off away from the enemy. They can't make eye contact. It's just too awkward now. And yeah, they're just running back home. Scylla is sad. Oh my god. Oh, a little turnaround. A little bit of confidence. Get back over here. Run away. Oh, pretty good damage on the Skull Cannon. Daniken knows this matchup quite well. So they know that you gotta kill off them Skull Cannons. Very little damage, by the way, to Scourge Runner Chariot. And the poking continues. We're looking at 2/3 HP down on that Skull Cannon now. Not very comfortable, I must say. Summoning in the Cold One Knights, but not being too aggressive with them. All very smart play from Daniken. It's a 10-meter rampage radius. I believe it's 15. Yep. 15 meters. Still got it. Furies, by the way, don't have much of a target. Bad versus Chariots. Not enough AP to kill the Cold One Knights. But they can drain some ammo off the Scourge Runners. The question is, though, when will this thing be going down? Lands a pretty solid hit on the Dreadlord, but it's very likely gonna die. Now we're gonna see a save up to potentially resummon it, maybe. Daniken not going for the Medusa. Cold One Knight spam makes a lot of sense. There's not a lot of infantry here that can disrupt the Cold One Knights, but they can clear up stuff like Flesh Hounds. Infantry's gonna die to Hargonet Executioners anyways, and you don't want to lose a mobility fight because you'll get rear charged. You gotta defend these guys, so Medusa's kind of off the table on that front. Korngors are in, but I think Daniken's smiling. He sees Korngors. Look at these Executioners, primed and ready, man. They are so ready to chop up those Korngors in the distance. Swords raised. Their arms aren't getting tired for some reason. Maybe those blades are very light. But as soon as they get in the fight, they will be chopping. Scourge Runner's doing pretty good too over here. Marauder Horsemen taking a bit of deeps. Overall, I'd say not bad. Especially since Daniken didn't have to give up this point. I think that's one of the big things about this match. They're only down about 200 tickets. For a Khorne player, you're definitely sweating at this point. You're like, oh boy. I'm going to need to hold on to these points for how long? 8 minutes to win the game? 8 minutes of this absolute tragedy going on? That's not very comfortable. And here come the Scourge Runners, anti-infantry, right through the Furies, with Dragon support. And is that a Doom and Darkness? Oh, Daniken, you with the fancy Doom and Darkness tech. Gonna crumble away the Furies. When it comes to demons, Doom and Darkness is in fact a damage spell. And quite a bit too. That's like 100 damage a second. Minotaur charge does catch the Scourge Runners. A little bit brutal. Kartoffel. A strong potato, that's for sure. Gonna be counterpunching. But look at this. Fleshhounds getting caught up by the Cold One Knights. That's very rough. They should be faster, so a bit of a misplay that there was a catch there. And it has not been 8 minutes yet. And the number 1 point's getting captured. I think Danican has this in the bag. I think Danican super bagged this. Look at that comfort breath attack. Not even waiting for the blob, just breath attacking because he's like, you know what? I'm almost 5,000 points ahead. I got value for days, man. I'm just gonna poke you, make sure my Cold One Knights win this fight. What are you gonna do when you have no units? I can be slightly inefficient. It's okay. But will that be a misplay? We'll see. Big Rampage catches the Cold One Knights. Aspect of the Dread Knight to keep them in the fight. That's overcast, so it hits all of them. No terror outs over here. And that high leadership making those Minotaurs sweat just a little bit. Big rout on the Minotaurs. Chaos Knights too. They don't have ITP anymore. The leadership is too low for that. So they might even terror out. That would be bad. Doom and Darkness for the leadership debuff. Are we gonna see a terror out? The dread terror out of the Chaos Knights. Oh, look at that, they're wavering. No terror out though, but they might just normal route. Executioners have won against the Marauders on the far side. Korngors are on the run. These Executioners are a menace. And even the Skull Taker. Big charge from the Dreadlord. Gets a nice charge attack. Hits him pretty hard. The Skull Taker's looking a little worse for wear. Now, he's not going to die immediately. Guy's surprisingly tanky every time I see him, but I don't think this is very comfortable in the slightest. Gets separated from Scylla. Scylla, save me! Nah, Scylla's busy getting murdered. And so is the Skull Taker. Another land and dash attack. Dragons did get more maneuverable in the last patch. That does buff this Dreadlord sword and crossbow. That's pretty fun. Yeah, Danican's Dark Elves is crazy, man. He's crazy. And this is kind of how you beat Khorne. If you can hit a certain skill level and you don't make any misplays, you don't get caught up, and you're just slow and methodical, you can absolutely army wipe them. This build is really good for teasing out misplays. It beat me very handily. But Danican, this is his comfort zone, man. Dark Elves for life. There goes Skull Taker. Explodes. And it's an easy triple cap for Danican. There's effectively nothing Khorne can do right now, too. Now, okay, that's pretty fun. They did trigger the passive for the Dark Elves. So technically most of it is wasted. It doesn't matter though. It don't matter. It don't matter at all. Danican, he crushes it. Very nice. Executioners, big value, very big value. Let's see here. Oh. Okay, so looks like all right. There's a little bit of an issue, but it is all resolved. Just a small unfortunate situation. All right, and we're good. Yeah, Khorne took an absolute pounding. This thing did not get value. Scylla got no value. Oh, that was a Herald. It wasn't even Skull Taker, huh? Minos, what kind of everything just kind of got shot and run over. Executioners with minimal losses. Danican lost less than 200 units. Very efficient. Did lose one Cold One Knight though. Very sad. They will be remembered. Pretty sure Danican lost with Dark Elves versus Berserk. What did Berserk do then? It might also have just been an off day with Danican, but very often I see him do well against Khorne. very often. I'm surprised Berserk didn't ban Daniken's Dark Elves though. This matchup is awful. Yeah, it's a rough one. You played well though. Some solid Corn play. How do you feel about the option to either go SFT mode or 3x3 matrix? Did you appreciate the ability to just go for Corn? Did it feel reasonably fair, the 3 counterpick system? This is a new format, so I'm taking feedback. I think this format's pretty nice for just like a quick and easy tournament. Also, it should be real fun watching Daniken continue to wreck face. Is he playing Dark Elves? Is he just locked in as Dark Elves? Was Vampire Counts not Corn? Oh, yeah. Vampire Counts is rough. Daniken could beat my Vampire Counts, but it always felt like it was still winnable. And I just didn't have the optimal build. And it seemed like if you go really hard on the infantry, it can kind of get rough. You liked it? You like it personally? Not any worse than a regular SFT? Hell yeah. Very nice. Tomorrow, I'm going to try the same format, but it's going to be a Swiss tournament instead. Fewer knockouts. And then I can switch between Swiss and this. Swiss and single elim, based on how much energy I have. Should be good. Danny's so good. Yo, Danny's amazing. All right. Just some adminning, but we good. You're confused and thought the 3 factions have to be declared first 2? Oh, I see. Do you have like better wording I could use for next time? Let me see. They pick 3 factions and then choose. Yeah, and you get to choose which one to face. I think it's probably fine enough. But if you do have like just more clear wording, do let me know. Wording is not your strength? Ah, no problem then. I will keep an eye on it though. If other people also have issues, I can absolutely get that changed. Has anyone run into Doombolt, by the way? Doombolt got nerfed, so I personally think Doombolt's still really strong. 200 less damage does not feel like a massive nerf to it, but maybe it is. That is more than 20% less damage. Multiplayer changes? Yeah, so Doombolt got a damage reduction. Hey, Daniken also likes the format. Yes! Yes! Let's go! But yeah, the what's it? Doombolt got changed. Sail can use his missile ability now. It's no longer bugged. And what else? Sail can use a missile ability. And there's one more thing. What was it? Dreadmaws. Yeah. You can right click Dreadmaws onto units now while they're burrowed. So Dreadmaws are actually way easier to micro. And by way easier, I mean like insanely more easy to micro now. Being able to right click units and have them follow is so crazy. Oh yeah, and Steer Car's ability got nerfed. Yes. Yes. All very interesting stuff. Honestly, I think I like it. I personally like it. Even Turn is winning with Skaven these days. Like tournaments or just matches? There's a big difference. But yeah, oh boy. Oh man, yo, everyone's gonna be running Dreadmaws now. And then Dreadmaws are gonna get nerfed into the ground. Honestly, Dreadmaws could cost 1,200 and I would still probably take one. I don't know if I would take 2 Dreadmaws. But like, they're so good at shutting down the, you know, these infantry styles of play. I would say if they wanted to really balance it to not be such a hard counter, they should stay unburrowed for 15 seconds. Anytime they surface, they should stay there for 15 seconds before they can move. Because right now you can rapid... The strat with Dreadmaws is you unburrow on top of an infantry. Then you use the reburrow explosion wherever you can get a nice hit. And then you unburrow again. And that's 2 explosions and they're only above ground for like 5 seconds. You know, you're not actually going to be able to do damage to them. And if you don't send units to try and deal with them, then they just stay there and get their cooldowns back, which is like super butts, man. It's a real feel bad situation. So I think, yeah, their abilities are just like a little too short on cooldown. It just doesn't feel like there's enough counterplay there for the other player. But I would also accept just a price increase if they feel like Dreadmaws aren't good in campaign. At the end of the day, I think if CA doesn't do anything, they'll get limited to 1 like Arrows of Kurnos. And I think that would be fair. They probably don't need a full ban. But like, if you only have 1 Dreadmaw, at least you can't just completely shut down foot skirmishers. Also, yo, Slaanesh, you know, Steercar getting nerfed is good. I do think Slaanesh losing their army abilities is a massive nerf no one's talking about. Because if they had their army abilities here, they would be so much more devastating. As it stands, they're kind of Would Lamassu be a bit of a counter against Dreadmaws with their silence aura? Not really. So if the Dreadmaw stays burrowed, right? So a Dreadmaw can do the unburrowed tech if the Lamassu's far away. So if you're doing anything with the Lamassu, the Dreadmaw is going to pop off. So, okay, let's say the Dreadmaw unburrows and you bring in the Lamassu to silence it and it can't run away. Yes, then that would be fine. But if your opponent's good enough, they will just leave the Dreadmaw burrowed and you will have a more expensive Lamassu just chilling, doing nothing, while the Dreadmaw is also doing nothing. But because the Lamassu is more expensive, the Dreadmaw player is just winning, right? This is like distracting a cav unit with dogs, where it's like, okay, yeah, technically cavalry counter dogs, but practically speaking, the price difference makes it not worth. Dreadmaws costing the same as Tomb Scorpions is crazy. If Tomb Scorpions never get a burrow ability, I'm gonna be so sad. Tomb Scorpion should absolutely have a burrow ability. Because like it's just so perfect for them, right? Like it fits the unit so well. Just give them a burrow ability and make it limited duration, you know, like they can burrow but they will unburrow after 10 seconds, but it's just like an easy way to escape and keep the unit the same price. Like, just come on, man, just do it. Just do it. The problem is it's too much dev time for such a small thing. But I think it would be sick. Yeah, it's a great idea, but C is not going to put the resources into that when they don't have enough resources to fix their UI, I'm not going to put in suggestions like that. We got to focus on the big stuff first. Could Chaos Dwarves pull off similar shenanigans in Norska? Or Chaos Chimeras by using double Bale Taurus? The answer is no, because double Bale Taurus is so much more expensive, and I think their breath attack, is it as good as a Chimera? Chimera breath attack, the explosion and the spread of it is like really good. It overkills very little compared to other breath attacks. If the Bale Taurus breath attack is similar, it's probably okay, but they're not as good fighters as Chimeras, and they're more expensive. The immune to flanking makes such a fat difference. It makes such a fat difference, it's insane. So, yeah, I would say probably not. Oh, Opal Bear Blacks facing Danican. How exciting. The breath is the closest to it, and their price is between the regular and the ROR. Yeah, but they don't have immune to flanking. I think their mass isn't as good either. I've never been like super impressed with like how the Bale Taurus controls. And also the ROR is worth it because it heals a lot, right? So, you know, like you would want it to be cheaper. I think Bale Taurus is, if they got a 100 gold price reduction, I think they would be much closer to Chimeras. But even so, no immune to flanking, man. Immune to flanking is insane. Do they have the same leadership? I've personally never been super excited about Bale Tauruses, but maybe I'm just off. But it's similar to, like, you know, Frost Dragons, right? Like, you can say Norska has Frost Dragons for 1500. No one's running those. Yeah, they have a great breath attack, but at the end of the day, the immune to flanking is insane. It's actually insane. I can let my Chimeras get surrounded by cavalry when they land, so they can dive bomb anybody, man. There's no escape. You land a dragon on a lord, that dragon's instantly getting surrounded and killed. Ain't no dragon surviving a sniping attempt. Plus larger target to hit. Little less leadership. They do have blazing body. Yeah, that's not enough to make up for immune to flanking, man. Ain't enough. Oh, I'm the host, huh? Interesting. Scorpions can move on ground. Maw can't. Is not it the point? Okay, like tomb scorpions, yeah, they can walk, but like they should still have a burrow ability of some sort. It's just too cool. Like, come on, man, rule of cool. This is a Warhammer game. If you don't follow rule of cool, what are you doing? Congrats on the big win. Thank you. What are you buying? It's going into my car fund. I've been saving up for a car for a while. So that'll be fun. I won't go into specific reasons why I need a car as a streamer, but trust, it will be good. Immune to flanking is CA's new favorite thing. Yeah, it was Glorious Charge. Now it's immune to flanking. Ah, hell yeah, we got Opal Bear. Let's see it. Cruise on a big crab. Rotting for me. You know how smelly that would be? I still got my nose. Why do you think Vlad doesn't have a nose? Yeah, that's right. The undead. Nobody wants to smell that. Still waiting on the previous beta results with the sieges. What is the point of beta testing if CA doesn't follow through? So it could just be to gather data there's also the thing where like sometimes you test something and you're like, oh, this was a bad idea. You know, we gotta bail. So it could be that. If I ready, okay, yeah, we're good. But yeah, sometimes it can just be they feel like, oh yeah, we tried something out. We would need a much bigger scope to actually implement it. Or maybe the delays really set them back and they couldn't work on it. I don't know. I'm being devil's advocate. Although it's okay, my theory, my go-to explanation. Community liked it though. It's really well received. Well, I don't know. It's not like people hated it. Here's the thing, right? In my many years, in my nearly 30 years, I have learned that if the solution seems simple, if the solution seems so simple, right? And they're just not implementing it, there's probably a lot going on. There's something going on that's making them not implement it, and it's actually a lot more complicated than you would expect. No, that doesn't mean that it's a bad idea to just implement it, but there's probably some crazy roadblock or something internal. Who knows, man? If I had to guess, it's probably just like a dev time thing. I think I would bet all the developers are focusing on 40K and they just have so few people that it's being sidelined for other stuff. Or maybe they're saving it for the DLC that's coming up because it's easier to batch patches together. I don't know, man. But I assure you, it is not a simple thing. If you went to the management of CA today and you kick the door down and you're like, hey, here's an idea, get this implemented. They'll probably have a very reasonable explanation. It's simple to, yeah. I don't think you can just make a blog post to say that they're not going to do it. Community management is hard, man. Community management is so hard. You can tell because the community managers don't stick around for very long. And I will just say this, right? There's a reason why we don't have another CA Grace on the Reddit, right? You know? I don't think it's like a simple situation of like, yeah, CA, just talk to us. We're a very fine community that is welcoming and ready to understand your position. I'm sure you have never had any amount of backlash for speaking with us before. Just come into punching distance of us, right? I'm gonna tell you right now, there's a reason why they don't talk in my chat. Even though for you and for me and for many people here, I'm sure we would really appreciate just a blog post or something, right? But yeah, there's reasons, and a lot of them make sense. A lot of them might not matter to us, but it matters to them. It's complicated. It's very complicated. You know what's not complicated though? This guy. Boom. 2 spells. Enfeebling Foe, Melgoths. It's a spellcaster. No passive though. I like to have the lore passive for Slanesh, but I think Opal doesn't. Likes to go more wide on the infantry line. We got a Supreme Dark Sorceress over here. Got that. Ah, yeah. Ah, yeah, Danican. Okay, yeah, so Danican... This is why he wanted the beta. This is why Danican wanted to try the beta branch. I also really wanted to see this. Answer me this. Doombolt does less damage now. It's 1,000 damage for 9 winds of magic. Can be dodgeable by some lords. Is it still OP? Previously, 2 overcast Doombolts and that lord's probably running. That horse lord, they're probably running if you overcast Doombolt twice. With the nerf, you're probably gonna need a 3rd overcast Doombolt. That's talking like more than half of your entire Winds of Magic pool to kill a Horse Lord. Typically, Spirit Leeches are worth, but that's because you can get more magic. Pretty pitiful Doombolt. Quarter HP down. There's the nerf for you. We used to see Doombolt absolutely annihilate these guys, but he's holding his ground, you know, he lived. Good to see. Upcast Doombolt for 5 fireballs worth of damage. That would be crazy if Fireball was a good spell, but no one's running it anymore. Like, literally no one runs Fireball. You need to compare it to like a Spirit Leech or something. That was definitely undercast though, absolutely. For 9 Winds of Magic, so they'd be spending what, 36 Winds of Magic to snipe a Lord. 36 Winds to snipe a Lord is generally okay. It's in the good tier. If you overcast it, you might route them, so there's definitely that. In my head, Doombolt is probably still good. Is it ban worthy? I bet people are gonna want to ban it just because that's how this community generally works. They don't like, you know, they don't like that kind of stuff, and if that's the case, so be it. But not impossible to deal with. Just don't move your Lord in Doombolt range. Just hide in the trees, man. Your spells have range. Get some Melkoths. No, the Enfeebling Foe. All right. Do you have to be this close for Enfeebling Foe? It has 200 meters. Doombolt is also 200 meters. So you can hit this infantry without risking yourself. Daniken goes for the Blade Storm. Getting some pretty decent damage over there. The Meat Grinder. And he's just going to rely on his infantry. Slaanesh generally doesn't do that well against these kind of heavy infantry builds. Unless they can get into the back line. And as it stands, they're not really getting there. They don't have infantry that are elite enough to fight Blackguard, except for Exalted Demonettes. But those tend to get countered by spells, so this is looking pretty rough. Yeah, Missile Resist always affected Doombolt. That's not really a big, that's not really a big thing. I think the big discussion is, you know, is it better than Spirit Leech? If it is better than Spirit Leech, you know, but you can kind of hide from it, right? You can maybe dodge it sometimes. Is that something that we want in the competitive scene or no? And that will come down much to the people's preference. It definitely does damage way faster than Spirit Leech though, so that's actually a really important thing. People would absolutely pay for a more damaging, more expensive Spirit Leech. Although then again, Rancid Visitations also isn't used very much, but I think that's mostly a range issue. Honestly, make Doombolt 100 meter range. I think it becomes way more acceptable. But this, by the way, the reason I'm not talking about the game that much is because Slaanesh is kind of dead. I think Slaanesh got absolutely counter-builded. Unless this one Hellstrider kills everything in the backfield, at the end of the day, these Blackguard are never gonna die. There is literally nothing to deal with them. Daniken, he's so confident his front line's gonna win. He doesn't need a, ooh, nice passive trigger. He doesn't need another Blade Storm. He's just gonna poke this guy. Now, I think that one was overcast. That one did a lot more damage. But he's still chilling. He's still chilling. I think Daniken's gonna need another Doombolt, maybe the K-Knight Assassin. So that's gonna be about 22 Winds of Magic. That has not really paid for itself yet. This guy also could have been hiding here. There's no reason to stand here outside of capture point contention, but it's just putting him in a bad position. Gets the Web of Shadows. Yeah, Slaanesh is getting mega stomped. These Executioners are about to get their vigor completely restored too. Ready to fight again. And all Daniken has to do is trade slightly around even. Which I think is pretty easy. There's a lot of Cav and there's a lot of Blackguard. It's going to be sus no matter what. Big misplay from Opal Bear, by the way. Loses the Chaos Sorcerer Lord. Before anybody complains about Doombolt, I think this guy would be dead even with Spirit Leeches. Though, I will say Doombolt does have way more range than Spirit Leech. 200 meters is way more than the 100 meters of Spirit Leech. Most sniping spells tend to have low range. If there was one thing I would change about Doombolt, it would be that. Now that the damage is slightly reduced. But yeah, it's looking pretty bad. What we got? Some Forsaken are getting chased off. And it's pretty ugly. Ent isn't a big believer in variety. What do you mean by that? Also, yeah, Nurgle does use Rancid in some matchups. That is true. I actually quite like it in Undead sometimes. Slightly around even. Like, Danican needs to trade slightly around even. Opal Bear needs to get some mega value. Like, we're talking Opal Bear's next 500 supply summon needs to kill a Dread Spear, a Dark Rider, and half a Dark Rider. Shields. And even after that, they'd still be behind. Danican takes the very easy win. That's gonna be GG. Danican is killing it with the Dark Elves. What do you think of 2x or even higher speed tournament? Doesn't work. If you've tried multiplying speed in multiplayer, the lag is what mitigates it. So typically the connection between two players is only ever good enough for 1x speed. Sometimes not even. So a 2x speed tournament would just be the same, but it would look way worse. It would be way more choppy and everything. Terrible. Anyways, Opal Bear lost because of his infantry. I'm sure people will complain about Doombolt, but this was not a game that Doombolt won. It was actually a game where the Blackguard won. Danican, he does like his elite stuff. Shade Greatswords are pretty funny too. Very nice. He's on a murder spree. Guy's killing everything. What is this? Don't think you've ever seen Mantide Slanesh win. Let's see. It's best versus like lower DPS factions like Bretonia. I would say generally Mantide Slanesh is the weaker style. But yeah. Alright, so next map is Crystal Lake. Potatoes Devil, the other potato, is playing on the other side of the bracket. Have you started your match yet? If not, I'll cast. Do you enjoy the Outrider? The Outdoors twin? Wait, say what? Alright, nice. We have a game to cast. It's gonna be Potatoes Devil versus alright. Lobby code, please. Potatoes Devil versus, let me see. I forget the other player. I just saw Potato. Ah, what's the code? What do you mean invalid password? What's the password? Oh, it's scrambled eggs. So that means the password's probably this. What? Finally, okay. Who uses a password other than 123? Are you crazy? All right, here we go. Ogres versus Wood Elves. Ooh. You asking if I enjoy the outdoors? No. I'm a streamer. I would totally be fine living in a submarine if I had good enough internet, man. Every once in a while, I like you know, hanging out with my friends outside. You know, maybe we can go to a park. I'm not averse to the outdoors. I just like the indoors a lot. ABC 123, that's crazy. Something other than numbers? Are you out of your mind? Have they fixed the AI blobbing up around settlements? I have no idea. Warhammer and outdoors enjoyer. But yeah, I don't have anything against it. And I really like stargazing. It's just indoors. It's so comfy. Yellow Submarine. Yo, my dad used to listen to the Beatles all the time, man. I would hear it playing every day. Yo, dedicated servers for Total War 40K. I know Turin's been asking. Every single new game, Turin gives it a little bit of a push. We can only hope that Turin somehow convinces CA to make dedicated servers for the game. I would say the odds are unlikely because CA hates our guts. Okay, no, I'm sure they have their reasons, but dang, man. They have a main ready to shill for them for days, man. I feel like if you think about it, right? If they make Turin happy, they would get so many tens of thousands of free views just because Turin is making content for the game at a more regular pace instead of switching to other games all the time. If you compare that to how much they pay for sponsorships, right? I think they would make their money back if they value the viewership that Turin brings in. But it's probably, maybe it's because his viewership, views for a channel already making content for your game probably aren't worth as much, so maybe it's not worth. But come on, man. The guy's been around since Warhammer 1. Give him some love. That would be the sickest thing ever to have dedicated servers. You can stargaze indoors. Yeah, telescope out the window for the win. This is the mass infantry ogre style again. No greases though, very sad. Most Turin viewers are their actual paying customers. So like, in terms of paying for sponsorships, you're trying to attract new people, so I don't know how that actually pans out. We can speculate, but I don't think we can actually say. Maybe there's a good reason. Maybe there's a bad reason. Pushing through bureaucracy can be a reason, though. Oh, yeah, look at that flag sticking out of their head. Look at that. They have a little top hat. Oh, yeah, this guy's ready. He's balanced. What else we got? Oh, this is a double Way Watcher build. Nice. Potatoes Devil. I like Way Watchers in this matchup. Very good for kiting lead belchers. Especially the ROR. They have a leadership debuff on contact, which is minus 16. Very brutal when it comes to lead belchers, because they got 60 leadership. Basically nothing. Can we just get one dedicated servitor from the CA Tech Priests? That would be sick. Yo, a dedicated, if there was some way, if they made it where we could pay for dedicated servers, that'd also be fine. It might have something to do with changing the code though, because if the game is built around peer-to-peer, maybe making it run off servers is like more difficult or something. But on a completely new game, still pretty early in the development cycle, come on, man. Come on, please. But yeah, this should be pretty fun. We got a couple spears. We got the Way Stalker. They're also here to beat lead belchers. This entire matchup revolves around lead belchers. Because they got 200 range. Compared to your average Glade Guard, they outrange them. And they also out DPS them. So the entire match revolves around whether or not you're shooting or you're getting shot. And in this case, we got 2 shooter units for both sides. Ogres in this case, they do have a pretty nasty front line, so they can't overwhelm this force. But if the Way Watchers go uncontested, surely they would shoot up all these expensive Noblars. First Arrows of Kurnos drops, picks off 2 Lead Belchers. Sad day for them. They just showed up to the battlefield and now they are becoming Plague Ogres. Lying in the muck. It's a rough time. Waystalker also gets to capture a little bit. That'll help on the ticket front ever so slightly. And we have Orion. Waist deep. No, knee deep in the muck. Chilling. Figuring out where to go. Looking at this tree, doesn't know what's going on. I think he just chucked a spear. Maybe. Noblars are large? No, they're infantry sized. So that bonus versus large doesn't work on them. One of the only mounted units that is infantry sized. The humble pigback rider. And here goes Orion. Now Orion is a large target. He does have a lot of spells though. Cloak of Isha. I don't think they're dying anytime soon. Yeah, it is just a bait. Come at me, bro. Whoopsies. Dogs for days. Bunch of Noblars go down. That's a 400 gold pick for Orion. This Nobblar's taking too much damage to still be useful. So even though half their HP is gone, we can effectively call them dead. But now this is where this gets sketchy. Lead Belchers are loaded and firing on Orion. He books it. Doesn't want any of that. He chucks a spear. Oh, right in the back. Oh my gosh, not the lower back. Trying to stand back up. Get back up, man. All right, there we go. He's back at it. Run, Orion, run. Get out of my way, he says to that ogre. A little bit of friendly fire. That's pretty funny. But he's taking a lot of damage. Lead Belchers are also getting hit, though, by the Waystalker. But overall, I think Orion's pretty happy. Even terror out some Ogre Bulls. Dryad gets picked off over here. Overall, nothing too crazy, right? Players are still kind of posturing. There's not that much going on. A couple trades here and there. Orion's just trying to be disruptive. But he can't backline dive these guys. Too much of a risk of being surrounded by bulls and just straight up dying. Cloak of Isha's good, but if you lose Orion, that is a big setback. Now the big issue though is how are the Wood Elves gonna kill all these guys? So you can see Lead Belchers, that range, pummeling the Way Watchers because they got a little too close. They should have been shooting outside the range of the Lead Belchers at all of this exposed infantry. But there's just not a lot of skirmishers. Eternal Guard gets shot by the Lead Belchers. That's a damage by artillery debuff, -10 leadership. Pretty massive. On top of the fear, frightened by enemy unit, -8. That's -18 leadership just for fighting ogres. Pretty brutal. Ogre Bulls though getting routed. Noblars getting blocked by a couple Eternal Guard. And the fights are not terrible. In terms of melee, the Wood Elves have a little bit of teeth as long as they're not getting overwhelmed. But even these Wraiths of the Frozen Heart are pretty hype. 32 melee defense. Pretty good versus the Ogre Bulls. Charge should finish them off though. Full surround, not pretty at all. We got some Wild Hunters coming in, but they're getting dismembered by the magic of the Ogres. And these Lead Belchers have still found no issue. So that's a big problem. In a big grindy fight like this, Lead Belchers are the winners of the trading game. They will just uptrade. They will just absolutely uptrade. Way Watchers are more good for that long skirmish game, drawing the enemy back, but the Wood Elves are just fighting. And what are you gonna do? Leave your Way Watchers on fire at will? That's not efficient. Maybe you get a couple routes here, but the Ogres are definitely getting a big lead now. Waystalker is good, but they've only been able to shut down one Lead Belcher, so the Ogres absolutely still have a range advantage. Hit on the Glade Riders. Look at that leadership. Looking rough. If they target this Dryad blob, they're gonna route too. And even some Flocks of Doom too. Nice simple lord. Already at 500 value. All you gotta do is Flock of Doom the expensive cav and you're happy. Hey, nice heal though. So we got a little bit of a upcasted earth blood because of the blessing of the ancients. But I don't see a lot of wood elf units left. Anyone see a lot of wood elves? Where'd they go? Okay, yeah, maybe we have a wild rider here. Another dismember though. Whew, that's a great thing about these mass Noblar builds. You get to spam your army abilities, and it really makes life tough for the cavalry units. Triple cap is on too. I think the wood elves are dead. I think Potatoes Devil did not have the oomph. There's just not enough. Glade Rider charge doing okay. Still pretty sus though. And we didn't see a Doombolt either. I felt like Doombolt would have been good here. You can spam it on the Slaughtermaster. Honestly, I need more people to play the Filth. How are we supposed to test if we can unban the ability finally? After how long? Half a year? Half a year-ish? Yeah. Come on. Get the Filth. Maybe it's OP, maybe it's not. But we gotta learn one way or another. Maybe it feels like the healing's better in a long, drawn-out game. Slaughtermaster could always just chill super far back and just live. But then your magic is useless. Does the 10 Glade Guard build beat this? I assure you, the Ogres have a 3rd and 4th Lead Belcher in reserve. And if they use that, the 10 Glade Guard build actually will suffer quite a bit. They just don't have the HP pool to suffer Lead Belchers shooting at them. But I think it would have done better than the two-way Watcher build. Two-way Watchers is kind of eh. I like a quad-way Watcher style here. It's gonna be an uphill battle regardless though. Look at Orion at least. Orion's chilling. But one man alone is not gonna win it. Technically value trading is kind of close, but it just doesn't feel very good when you are outnumbered 2-1. Nearly anyways. Like, what do the Wood Elves actually have to get on the point, right? They have Orion and one Wild Rider. I think that's basically it. When it comes to sitting on the point, there's basically nothing. They're triple capped. I say that though, but they are actually capturing one of the points. Ogre's deciding not to down trade, to hold on to it. Keeping the Lord safe. Alright. If these Wild Riders can cook, it's not bad, but everything here is good versus cavalry. We got Trappers, we got Saber Tusks, more Saber Tusks. Lead Belcher's still alive. That's pretty bad all overall. Inticity streaming. We are. It is a good stream. But yeah, Wild Rider's dead now. Oh boy. Saber Tusk still alive. Alright, we're down to two-way Watchers. Gets an Earth Blood. That's not gonna do much, is it? Ogres are just gonna recapture this. Wow. Wood Elves, or the Ogres, are just converting the Wood Elves into value. You know, they lose a couple tickets, but they get 2 Wild Riders out of that. I think they're very happy about that. I think the Wood Elves at most, they got like 50 tickets off of that. Losing 2 units of cavalry for 50 tickets, absolutely atrocious. One Dryad shows up, fights some Pigback Riders. Technically a good trade, but I don't know, man. Another Dryad shows up, but they're getting completely overwhelmed. Another Dismember. Wow, how many army abilities do the Ogres have? I feel like that's our 4th, maybe 5th Dismember. Brutal. Damage is through the roof. What do we got over here? There's 1,000 gold for the Wood Elves. Maybe they summon another Wild Rider. Clear this off. Get 1 capture point. In the time it takes them to get that down, though, I'm pretty sure the Ogres will win on tickets. We're looking at 3 minutes. 3 minutes for the Ogres to win on a triple cap. It's like 1 minute per point. None of them are actually being captured. Look at this poor Waystalker. He's trying his best, man. 1100 value is good. Kills 1 Ogre, kills another. Look at that sick combat. That Ogre just fall on his face. Managed to get out from underneath. Oh my gosh, but the knives, the spoons, the Noblars chucking whatever they have. We Stalker looking a little worse for wear. He's on the run. Trying to chase him down, but that means no capture weight. He's like, whoops-a-daisies, let me stay on that point. Army abilities are unfair to old factions. Well, it kind of depends. It kind of depends. Honestly, army abilities are not the most OP thing. I can list you many more things that are OP for older factions. And honestly, crumbling, I think every faction would lose their army abilities for crumbling on everything. Crumbling's crazy, man. Crumbling's monstrous. But yeah, what else tap out? Lead Belchers cooked just a little bit too hard. Lord got massive value off the flocks. I think Orion was good. The Way Watchers are okay. But this kind of build, you need them to do exceptionally well to pay for themselves. When will I get my peasant summon as Betonia? Betonia has Alberic, man, alright? You know how many factions would happily get rid of their army ability? Imagine, okay, you know what? How about this? Nurgle? If you're playing Nurgle, would you rather have Alberic as your lord? Or your Nurgle army abilities? A little bit of slow, Curse of the Slug. Oh my gosh. Instant win, right? What else? The heal, I guess. The heal. How about that sick Mark of Nurgle? Your units have a bit more HP, but CA balances them, so they're more expensive. Wow, wow. Yeah, no, Alberic 10 times out of 10, all right? Kugat greater than Alberic? Absolutely not. Absolutely not, all right? Everybody would want Alberic. My goodness. Anyways, we're waiting on Danican here. It's going to be Danny versus Egg Special. How very exciting. Let's see here. Where is their lobby? Spec slot, please. Sadly, Alberic is basically the only thing Betonia has. That's for every faction, alright? That's for every faction. Except for Warriors of Chaos. They have everything, but for everyone else... Alright. You know what? Let's agree that every faction is OP except for the one I play. How about we just go with that? That's a standard as true as time. And I think everyone can agree with that. Ain't nobody gonna say their own faction is OP. What are they, insane? And Peasant Bowman. And Peasant Bowman. And Grail Reliques, oddly enough. A lot of people would be happy to take some Grail Reliques off your hands. Okay, yeah. Honestly, the game is in a surprisingly good spot right now. It's surprising how many factions are actually playable. Obviously, we have a few outliers with the new patch, but it's feeling not bad. Scrambled Egg Special. Lobby code, please. When I win, it's all skill. When I lose, they need to nerf the enemy. Of course. If you're the best player, and you lose, something's wrong. You only play bad factions, so you have cope when you lose. Gonna need a lot of cope. Any Nurgle enjoyers out there? Honestly, if there's one kind of player that can actually legitimately say that they lost because their faction sucks, it's Nurgle mains, okay? Any Nurgle main gets a free pass on complaining that their faction sucks. Skaven mains, you can't complain anymore. Charix unfortunately won with Skaven. I'm sorry, it's just how it is. But ain't nobody winning with Nurgle, okay? We didn't see Nurgle anywhere. You want to see a garbage faction? Well, too bad. Nobody's playing them. Except for Terran. And then he loses. Unless he's sick, then he wins. But other than that, Nurgle's pretty garbo. Technically, they have some matchups that are actually playable. But overall, oh man, they feel like a worse corn. They feel like a worse corn on so many levels. I'm bashing Turin? How am I bashing Turin? It's impressive that he can get high up in tournaments with Nurgle, but like, nobody's gonna win with him. You take Kaizek as your lord for Nurgle? Oh yeah, a lot of people just take the normal Nurgle lord because they want a decent fighter. Replace him with Kaizek, that'd be great. Demons of Chaos deserve a mention. Demons of Chaos are weird. I see players dabble on them a lot, but they never stick around. That's a bad sign for a faction. Danican dabbled in the Dark Elves and showed the world that they have teeth. Is there a Danican for Demons of Chaos? I don't think so. Methinks not. Garbo faction right there, man. Absolute mega Garbo. Okay, maybe not mega Garbo. I'm sure they can cook kind of well. And maybe, I think if someone figures out how to make pleasure seekers work on the faction, then we're cooking. But at the end of the day, it comes down to whether or not someone brings Buna against you. And that's not a comfortable position to be in. The #1 spot, Demons of Chaos. The best faction. At least with Nurgle, you get to dog walk Filthy Counts players. That is true. Nurgle has one of the best matchups against Vampire Counts, who typically do well against everyone else. This is why people love Nurgle. Because they beat the factions everybody hates. No one's like, man, I hate that Nurgle counter Vampire Counts. No, they're like, finally. Give me more of that. Direct damage spells should be nerfed in general. I think direct damage spells are in a great position. I think they need to buff spells. If direct damage spells don't kill things, why are you even taking them? I guess you could say Flock of Doom though. So you could say Flock of Doom is pretty nice for the shenaniganry. Because Flock of Doom is a value spell, so you could make direct damage spells okay for value, consistent value trading. But like, if we keep nerfing them, they're just gonna be... It's just gonna be sad. You're just gonna have a spell that does nothing. I don't want a situation where... I think buff spells are so bad. If you nerfed all the Lore of Fire spells to be the same tier as their buff spells, no one's gonna run Lore of Fire. What's it? Fiery Cloak? Whatever. Flaming Cloak? I think it's called Fiery Cloak? I don't know. But that spell ain't good. That spell is so bad. Oh my goodness. People would not run magic if that was the only spell you could take. Plus 24 melee defense for a bit. For a hot second. Jeez Louise. Congrats on the win. Thank you. Yeah, just up that up. Alright, up it up where people are primarily taking that. Make the Fire Cloak give some damage reflect. Now that would be hype. Yeah, Final Transmutation needs some good timing. Malkoth's is a weird one. A lot of the times people take it because it's a slow and the lore passive speeds you up. So it's actually really good for maneuvering. I think, you know, looking at the Wind Blast, adding a slow to that increases how dynamic the spell is. I kind of like that too. How dare you bring up Flaming Cloak in this discussion? But yeah, I would say the big problem right now, it's an endless tide, all right? Nerf damage spells, another damage spell will take its place. Remember Burning Head and Pendulum, right? So like literally the progression, it's actually funny. The progression of damage spells in Warhammer 1, Spirit Leech was OP, they nerfed it. In Warhammer 2, Popo are coming for me. Taking the info while you still can. Yeah, then it became Pendulum and Burning Head. It was wind spells for days. In Warhammer 3, they nerfed wind spells. So then we went back to direct damage, but for cavalry. So it became Melkos and Flock of Doom. If you nerf those, we might go down to missile spells. It might become Amber Spear and Fireballs again. And then if we nerf Amber Spears and Fireballs, we might go back to Burning Head and Pendulum and like Pit of Shades. There was a Vortex meta. We did have Vortex spells in the Limelight for a little bit. But that's what I'm saying, right? You can't nerf the top. Raise the bottom. All right. That's the only way. That's the only way we will ever see him. Buna used to be broken. Yeah, Buna was used a lot. Although I will say it is pretty cool that we're starting to see stuff like Doom and Darkness. Doom and Darkness, that's a good sign, all right? We do actually have a handful of of like actual debuff spells that are being used. So maybe I'm wrong. Maybe we're on the cusp. See some Doom and Darkness played. Maybe some Treason of Tzeentch. I don't know. I know those Cone Blast spells are still quite popular, though. Most Tzeentch players stick with Pinkfire. But maybe. Honestly, a Doom and Darkness meta is not bad. I don't think anyone can complain about that. Doombolt got raised. Yeah, they raised the damage spell. I don't know why they buffed the damage spell. Clearly they know how to make a spell good. Yo, can anyone, does anyone remember? I can't believe I forgot. They did buff these defensive spells. Crystal Sanctuary. Crystal Sanctuary, it's actually one of the most buffed spells in the entire game, and I would bet you more than half of the multiplayer people that watch multiplayer, they don't know what Crystal Sanctuary is. I've never seen something buffed so much in my entire life. It's crazy how bad that spell was before. How did it go from F tier to D tier with a 33% spell cost reduction? I can't believe it. I didn't think it would be possible. Even the Grail Relique got I think a Grail Relique, how expensive was it before? Did it go from 600 to 400 gold or something? And its aura got buffed or something along those lines? I didn't think that would be enough. I was wrong. Oh boy, though, man. Maybe one day they'll get it. Some Kislev thing or something. When is the long hair coming back? Next pandemic. Give it a few years. I'm sure we'll get one soon enough. You think you've only ever used Crystal Sanctuary once and it was in campaign? I technically won with it. Technically it has utility, but it's so niche it's never worth actually using. Not being able to move sucks. Yeah, it turns out. Crystal Sanctuary, I feel, oh man, okay, if I had to remake Crystal Sanctuary, it's a spell that you can disable at any time and it lasts a really long time. Like we're talking like 1 minute and you can choose to disable it. Now they'd have to add a whole new mechanic for disabling buff spells that you chuck out, but like, I don't know, man. Make it so that you turn a unit into a turret, you know? Crystal Sanctuary, your ice guard or something, and they just sit there and shoot forever. That's kind of cool. And then I think that's about all I can think of. Or make the spell free. I don't care, man. Make this spell cost 4 winds of magic and see what happens. I think it would be so cool if Crystal Sanctuary is OP. Although the land battle, I was like, who would complain? I'm like, yes, the land battle community. When in doubt, the land battle community comes in with the steel chair. In domination, if you can't move, That's terrible. In land battle, holy crap, that would be bad. The box builds, oh my goodness. It would never go through. Imagine Crystal Sanctuary being good. Like, have you seen units that are hard to get off points? You just capture the other points, man. It's fine. Hawks of Miska is like 50 times better. Can't you use the crystal? Yeah, you can. There's a reason people don't use it. Because it means you can't move. I don't know if you realize. But a melee unit that can't move is not a threat to things with legs. Everything can move in this game. The slowest unit in the game can run away from something that's Crystal Sanctuary. I can't obey the attacking rules because I made my unit unable to move. The ultimate corner camp strat. Holy crap. Anyways, yeah, I don't know. I don't see a world where it actually becomes... Actually, no, maybe I can. Maybe there's some crazy single entity build, but I think it'd be much cooler than, I don't know, Hailstorm. Although Hailstorm does have counterplay, so it's kind of cool to have that too. But like, come on, man. It's better than making Doombolt OP, right? What if you could cast out on enemy units? That would be hilarious. If you could target Crystal Sanctuary on enemy units, the utility would be so funny. Especially because it's supposed to be a buff spell. But Kislev would legitimately cast it on enemy units so they could focus fire other stuff. It would actually be one of the strongest nets in the game. That would be cool, man. Oh my gosh. But alright, what we got here? A gold main eater. Scrambled eggs. Trying to bring back the Ogre Kingdom's meta. Got a butcher with the Uranians. Harmonic Convergence. He's going to use that reload skill on his lead belchers maybe. Crystal Sanctuary on Little Grom and artillery duels. The sad thing is there's already another spell that's better for artillery duels. But if it didn't exist, then it's decent tech. I would love to see Crystal Sanctuary slightly cheaper. At the very least. What we got? Rakarth. Daniken does quite like Rakarth for his insane bonus versus large. We got the Whiplash. The Beast Lord's Gaze. He looks at you and you stop rampaging. Rakarth is a very stern dad, it turns out. Very interesting. Alright. We got a little bit of a push up. Here's the thing. Daniken needs to kill the lead belchers. So these lead belchers, they are a forcing unit. They force the Dark Elves to have to go into melee. If they live, they might be a win condition too, if they clear the infantry. In fact, yeah, I would go as far as to say they are a win condition unit. They're forcing and win condition. They got the deeps. How is he going to defend them? Well, the front line's not super strong. But if the lead belchers soften up the Dark Elves enough, it's fine. And then there's the Powder Guts. Powder Guts stop big dive-ins. So Rakarth can't really go in because it's going to get blasted. The big question, though, is whether or not the Ogre Kingdoms can hold their front line. Because infantry, once they start pushing the lead belchers back, it's a good time. Daniken knows that. This is the typical style that you use against an Ogre Kingdom's lead belcher build. A lot of new players tend to have a hard time against these guys because they force you to rush, and new players are pretty bad at that. But Daniken has that control. So take a look at what he's doing here. He's not fighting. Sorceress of Fire gets shot by gold. But he's saving up. Now, you might be thinking to yourself, wait just a darn second. Both players have the same supply every second. How does building up favor Daniken? Well, the Ogre front line's not really strong. If you wait longer, you can potentially get enough units to fight them. If they don't get more range units, they have fewer shooting power on your advance, so it doesn't hurt as much to walk forwards. But most importantly of all, and the thing that makes Dark Elves so good, is their faction passive. Murderous Prowess triggers when enough units die. And this requirement does not increase when you summon in units. It is a flat amount. So if you wait till you get a ton of units on the field, more of your army will be getting that passive, while the ogres, they're not getting anything. They don't get an advantage for waiting, Dark Elves do. And especially in a world where your units or your reserves might be bad, and Daniken can tune his reserves to be better. This is a good situation. Unfortunately, it means they're going to be building up for a second, so don't mind me. The exciting part will be coming soon. Just not right now. Give it a hot second, alright? They're just going to be skirmishing for a bit. If Scrambled Eggs is worried, he'll try to force Daniken forwards with his lead belchers, but he's been pretty passive about it, which I think is a misplay, but we'll see. Nothing changed? Nice. Betcha thought the stream froze. Oh yeah. Building up. Ogre army ability is cooldown based, so they can't use as many army abilities if you build up. Though generally they can use most of it. I don't think it's a huge disadvantage for them. Are Scourge Runners banned now for Dark Elves? No. It was just bad for the build-up strat. Daniken did bring them earlier against Khorne, a faction that is much more kiteable. This double cap doesn't matter very much, by the way. Daniken fully intends to win in the big fight. He'll capture the points as he advances, so if he falls behind a bit, it's fine. Especially if you can just get a dominating victory. The ogres, on the other hand, are just trusting that they'll win because they're on the defensive. They can summon in and then hopefully win that way. By the way, if you're on the defensive on your side of the map, building up is also a smart strategy to beat that style, because reinforcements have much less play. As the armies get bigger, your reinforcements have less and less of an impact. So there's a bit of that. But here we go. The advance has begun. Lead Belcher shot on the Dread Spears. Pretty good deeps. Ogres choose not to fight on point number 1. Daniken push that like the 550 ticket mark. If you fight for this point, you're not going to win on tickets. You just don't have enough. Manticores are in. Tanking the first shot so Rakarth can safely fly on in. Daniken gets his triple cap. And now he's forced to fight. Lead Belchers force you to have to go into the fight. Smart retreat though. Looking pretty good for the ogres. Trappers killed the Manticore too. It actually engaged a little too early. And Rakarth was not able to keep it in the fight. Breath attack doesn't do much versus Powder Guts. And so far it's looking a bit bad for Daniken. But here's the thing. In about 7 minutes he wins through tickets. Now that's a long time. This build-up has taken 7 minutes. But Daniken can absolutely win by tickets. It's actually closer to 6 minutes now. And that is a little doable. Manticore is back. Ogres are routing off. Not the most comfortable situation. Them choosing not to fight for the home point means Daniken can definitely put the time pressure on them. All he really has to do is trade roughly evenly, and he's in the lead. Rakarth going for the kill too. Rakarth v Gold. Will he get an attack? Gets the bite. Little bit of deeps. I don't think Golg is gonna die though. He can dodge pretty well. Magic, by the way, from the Butcher is not really working out too well. Daniken only has Burning Head, by the way, so he is limited based on cooldowns, but it doesn't mean his army gets to be a little bit bigger. And so far, value trading says it's not bad for Daniken. His infantry have pushed back the ogres. He's caught up on tickets. But if he ever gets fully army wiped, it's totally over. He's fully relying on the ogres having a weaker defense because of the lead belchers. One of them's getting caught up. Powder guts are not really getting a lot of great line of sight, and the other lead belchers on the run. Infantry so far for Dark Elves is fine, but here's the big swing play. As soon as they get murderous prowess, they become way more powerful. And indeed, my timing was fairly correct. It does trigger. And that means everybody here is going to be getting a massive vigor replenishment, lots of leadership, melee attack, charge bonus, AP damage. They are cooking. And as you can see, as soon as it triggers, all the Nobblers are having a much worse time. These ones over here are getting chopped up by bleak swords, and the endless waves of cavalry do not stop. Rakarth is making very good use of his HP too. HP is genuinely a resource. And the powder guts are being shut down. Daniken with a very scary rush. This is looking super bad for the ogres, by the way. Drive the ogres into the sea. Yeah, this is pretty bad. I think Scrambled Egg Special should have pushed for the third point. Not fighting for it and not having a forcing tool for Dark Elves is always a big misplay, because build-up strats are just so strong for them. You need some sort of skirmish to force them forwards, or you just have to fight on their side of the map. Scrambled Eggs taps out as he just got beat in the army department, and Daniken wins. In general though, Daniken did just have the better build. He did just have the better build. Very nice. Yeah, this just gets countered by like the infantry spam. Let's look at the reserves. Okay, so he didn't have more ranged, so there's that. But like, it's just so much. It's just so much melee, you know? I've brought this build before. It's really good against, like, you know, if they bring some archers, but non-archer builds, it's just a massacre. Brutal. Well, GG. Congrats, Daniken, on the win. He did it. What a terrifying Dark Elf player. What a terrifying Dark Elf player. Thanks for the games. Remember to report score. It's a good showcase too of what you're supposed to do. I love the Rakarth pick. No one else wants Rakarth, man, but Daniken takes him confidently. I know he also likes Rakarth into Bretonia. That's quite fun. Burning Head is really good for the Sorceress. It beats the Nobblar heavy builds. Honestly, this is a great build. I love it. Lead Belchers are annoying to deal with. Yeah, but clearly manageable. You can see they actually didn't get a lot of value. They just don't really do well versus infantry rushes. If you ever have a hard time versus Lead Belchers, a strong infantry rush will get you there. If it doesn't work, it's a skill issue. But no, actually, I think almost every faction can pull off a lead belcher defeating build if they have a good enough rush. Totally doable. Low cure Felheart. Ooh, I don't see him run low cure, sadly. Unfortunate. Low cure has healing, doesn't he? Scrap launchers greater than lead belchers. I would love to see scrap launchers as a way to try and beat the Dark Elf build. You can probably dodge scrap launchers though, sadly. It should have a bigger spread or something. But yeah, well played today and again. I am gonna call it a day. Peace out. Have a wonderful rest of your day, people. And I will see you guys tomorrow for another tournament. Should be good. And I need food now. I am starving. So peace.